Hey everyone, I wanted to shoot a quick video and share some lessons learned I had from installing the FAB Defense AG-58 pistol grip and SA-58 quad rail handguards. Before we get started, quick safety check. No mag, trigger lock on, no round in the chamber. Alright, first let's start with the pistol grip. So popped right out. The only thing you want to be careful with and be sure on this pistol grip is make sure the screwdriver's the right size. The first one I used was a little small, so I gummed it up a little bit, but get the right size screwdriver, it pops right out. Now, for the new handle, it is hollow. You open it from popping it back here. The inside is a little canister that kind of fills it out. You take that out. The bolt for the new pistol grip is about a third that size, and so for me it was easier. I had a magnetic bit, so I was able to hold that bit. It's you'll need an Allen type bit to slide in there and tighten it up. Once you did, put it right in, tighten it up, fits great, nice solid, feels really good. All right, let's talk about the hand guard. Let's talk about the bottoms first. So getting the pin out to pull this handguard out, this little pin right here, you can see, very difficult to get out. Mine was super tight. I had to punch to start it, but it wasn't long enough to get all the way through. So what I ended up using was a finishing nail. And you turn over and you use this end of the finishing nail where the head is to push the pin out. And mine was so tight I actually bent the first one, had to get a second one. But after that pin was out, I had to tap with a rubber mount right here, and it came right out after a couple taps. It was in there very tight. And also, when you're taking it out, next thing is when you're taking out that hand guard, there's a little metal cap right here, and you can see it back here on the new guard right here. Make sure when you get this off, make sure you keep up with that cap, because you'll need that to put the hand guard back on. Another thing too, and I'm going to use the wooden hand guard that I took off. My piece, my new piece from FAB Defense, was just a little bit, it was about a 1/16 of an inch too long right here. So what I did is I had to Dremel this off a little bit. I don't know if you can see it there on the camera. You can see here I had to Dremel that off to actually get the piece to go in and settle. I tried to push it in as hard as I could. It just would not go. So I had to Dremel just a little bit off here and a little bit off here to get this new piece to go on. Another thing I had to do with my Dremel tool is this. On the new piece, you have this little part right here that the metal cap goes on. This was too wide on my replacement, so I had to Dremel a little bit here and Dremel a little bit here, kind of like this one is. You can see the 45-degree angle. On my new piece, it was on the new handguard, it was completely 90 degrees, so I had to knock a little bit off to get the metal cap to go back on. And then once I had the metal cap, once I had that Dremel down, the metal cap back on, it slipped right in and drove the pin, and it's in there nice and solid. All right, let's flip over and let's talk about the top piece. When you take off the impregnated wood, you got to get your heat shield out. So make sure you get that out. You want to put that in. Another thing to make sure is you have these pieces are bolted in, and they come bolting 4 nuts, kind of this little package here. Make sure you put those on first before you put the heat shield on. If not, you'll have to take it apart and put them back on, because on the inside of the top of the handguard is where the nut fits. So the nuts on the inside and the bolts come in from this side and fasten on to the top handguard. So you have to do that before you put the heat shield in. Now another thing, don't put it on backwards. You get to struggling with the heat shield, and you can end up putting this back here. That's not where it goes. It goes here. So this is the front, this is the back. Another thing too, when you get the heat shield off, it's just a metal sleeve. The edge of the sleeve that you're going to turn into the top of the handguard, because there's a ridge here and a ridge here, and the heat shield, you slide it into those ridges. The side of the heat shield that you slide in, you'll have to bend that up just a little bit, bend it to the inside to get over the ends of the bolts and the nuts that are holding on your side rails. So make sure you bend that heat shield up. If not, you'll get it all the way in almost, then you'll hit those bolts or those nuts, and then your heat shield won't go any further. So make sure, I had to bend mine just a tad to get them up and over. And the last thing on the top is that heat shield was really snug on my new hardware. So what I had to do is on this end here, and you can see I kind of scratched up the Parker Ice finish, I'm going to have to fix that, is I had to use a pair of lock pliers to give me some leverage to spin it, because it's so small and so tight. You need something to give you just a little bit of leverage to slide that heat shield back in. Those are all the things that I learned putting this together, and I hope the things that I've learned here and showed you and reminded you of and give you some pointers on will be helpful. As you can see, post work looks really nice. All black, looks super sharp. I'm going to stick with the folding stock. I just like the compactness of it, and can't wait to get this out in the range. When I do take it out the range, I'll shoot another video and show you how these components did. I think they're going to do very well. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps.